Listen and you'll hear the heartbeat of a universe teeming with force. See all the forms and the faces of nature taking its course. And feel all the wonderful motion flowing through things far and near. Nature will share her secrets when we are ready to hear. Energy, these are a few of your faces, glowing in timeless places, bringing our lives new graces. Energy, there is no living without you. We must keep learning about you. Now is the time to find how to. Energy, you are profound. You make the world go round and round. You make the world go round. You make the world go round. You make the world go round.
Thank you, Energy. Hello, everybody. How's it going? Happy Malo to all. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Giant Bomb Independence Day. Yes, I took my mom out for Mother's Day dinner, so I still have my nice shirt on. Hope you're all doing well. Been running around getting some stuff ready for the Donkey Kong marathon that starts tomorrow. So I'm testing my N64 setup here and some other things today. I did say Happy Malo. The first thing I said was Happy Malo, I think. Yeah, Topgolf was great. It was funny. I went to Cleveland. Me and my brother AJ met up with Grub at Topgolf. I went mostly to get my Steam controller. Haven't been able to use it at all yet. Because yesterday, after that, AJ and I ended up going to the Tiki Bar in Cleveland we like, and then we realized that because of our rain delay, we can make the Guardians game, so we went to that. So I was in Cleveland all day yesterday. Then, today just been busy with setup. And, so I think Dean Bowling, thank you so much for 25 months. I appreciate that, Dean. I hope you're doing well. Thank you. I hope you had a great weekend. I can show you one of the things I've been working on today. Give you guys a little, technically a sneak peek. Technically, it's one of those things you do and people just don't notice until we say anything. But the new merch is out. The new merch has been uploaded to the Giant Bomb store. Feral Wolf, thank you so much for 4 months. Appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. Thank you. Gonna start promoting this more tomorrow, but it's up right now. So we got some nice new designs here. We got these kind of like race car style like stickers. So not real stickers, but it looks like a sticker. The trucker hat with this kind of ESRB GB rating thing. Very simple, classy sweater. The ESBR rating on a polo. Some new joggers. People have asked for joggers. I'm the merch master. I'm still doing all this. That's still me. Idiot Box, thank you for the stream streak and happy birthday to my son, the Penguin Tokoto. Thank you. Left cheddar made biscuits by your chimney on Malo Even. They were gone this morning. Oh my god. Malo Claus is evil. I'm not designing these. This is not my art. This is all done by Alex Greenling, who was working with Dan before, friend of Dan's. You get a koozie of that design too. This one is mostly for me, this garden flag. I saw we could do garden flags, and I need a new garden flag, so I put this garden flag up. Yes. Merch reveal, everybody. I think that the racing shirt and long sleeve here is pretty sharp. And these things always come in multiple colors, by the way, so you don't have to just get black or white. I think you know that. Yeah, I think a lot of people are hoping for just this kind of... I've seen people have asked for simpler designs before. So that's what this is about. We're doing less in-jokes this run. What is a garden flag? It's like a... Have you ever been to those? These little poles you can kind of put outside. You put this little flag on it. So it's nice. Not gonna lie, because I had to calculate the margins. I'm like $35. Even I'm like $35 for a garden flag. So I don't expect anyone to buy a garden flag except for me, to be honest. Otherwise, pretty good. How big is a garden flag? Not that big. Not that big. Like that. They're kind of a standard size. If you can always Google it. Because they all go on the same flagpole. Kind of a thing. There is all of that. Yeah, you probably get what it is now. HHs of an actual sticker sheet. That'd be neat. I don't know how it goes into that. I might have to figure that out. Maybe someday we can make some. They made stickers before my time. I guess I have to see. A couple other notes here is that actually the We Bought a Bomb shirt is actually on sale. I might have to make a thing there, but it's 20% off. So if you add that to your cart, that'll get added automatically. Oh, I have to add this stuff to men's unisex. Gotta make sure I got my category straight. But it says it's always a little weird in the store. It says $28 here, but you add it to your cart, it'll show up with the 20% off added to it immediately. Can we get a baseball style shirt someday? I'd like to do it. Also, just a heads up, the free domestic shipping order is 100 now instead of 75. The heads up there. Alrighty. But there's the new merch to celebrate the 1 year of independence. Oh, Bloodborne, thank you for the stream streak. I appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. Thank you. I definitely want to get. I definitely want the racing long sleeve, though it's summertime. Part of me's like, maybe I should just get the shirt. Quite fond of the lightweight zipper hoodie from the past. Might have to get, yeah, maybe once it gets cold again, right? We're kind of in summer. Still added the sweater, though. Anyways, beanies. Yeah. The beanies are a little weird because, like, I don't know. I assume we don't just want to do a simple print on a beanie. That should be embroidered, so that takes a bit more doing. I got to look into that as well. I will do at some point here. But yeah, there you go. All right. So we gotta make sure that my N64 stuff is working. Oh, wrong one. This one. I also might make my scene live as I do this. So this is what it looks like right now. Now, this is with the retro tank. Let me know if how this looks good. If this looks. Yeah, I think the first episode of Bully came out. Was it just premium today? It's like a week. Is it a week early premium or is it just out? I don't know. You guys have to let me know. A week early for premium. I think the episode's supposed to release daily. 1 second. Probably loud. I think someone accidentally dropped them. I don't know. Go Kaz. Yeah, Kaz game is Nailbiter. Okay. It's hard to tell in N64 games, right? Like, does this look kind of blurry because my setup could be better, or is this just how N64 games look? Somehow I've never played this game, by the way. It seems like it's gonna really be my shit. I mean, it looks fine here. So it's kind of a story mode. So this is kind of wild. This is one of 3 games that Capcom released on the Nintendo 64. And for some reason, Capcom made a Disney Tetris game. Game's still a little loud. There we go. This is also the only game that they made for N64 first, I believe. There is a PlayStation version, but initially developed as an N64 game. Thank you, Jump Kid. This is the easiest choice of my life. We'll hire a little bit more now. Let me know if that's too much. I know I play Tetris. I do know because of a Sean Johnson video that, like, combos might matter more than Tetris is. One day, Donald went fishing and caught a stone that glowed mysteriously. Boy, each character has their own campaign. There were weird symbols carved into the mysterious stone. Oh no, Donald found Nazi gold. Donald thought to himself, Goofy will know what these symbols mean. Why would Goofy know? Well, he wouldn't. And he set off for Goofy's farm. Goofy doesn't know anything. I love this pixel art, but this game looks good. Hi, Goofy. I have a question for you. Hiya, Donald. You're just in time. Why don't you change outfits and give me a hand? Donald will have to help Goofy in order to find out more about the stone. So yeah, it's a lot of kind of like competitive stuff here. Oh, it looks great. Okay, how are we turning things? Okay. Is there a did we save any pieces? I don't think we got. Well, we don't have save in this one. That's rough. That's rough when you can't save a piece in Tetris. Ah, shit! I blew it. Trying to turn that in. Good thing this is the first level, because I'm going to need some help. Oh, come on. I suck. Again, it's like, you really want combos more than anything else. Even more so than Tetris is what I've been led to believe. Man, is there really not? I really can't hold back a piece. Man, you can't save a piece in a Tetris game. That is so much harder. I don't know. Okay, all right, you think I got enough squares, game? Thank you. Yeah, because so if I make combos or do whatever, I can send junk pieces to him. Yeah, I don't know about that. Oh, I made too many spaces where I need big ones now. I'm blowing it. Might need to just do that for a moment. I would call the DK64 say Minotoni. Minotoni, why'd I say that? I think the overlay says TK64 like Dokkoto. I don't really think that's what we're calling it per se, but it does. Oh shit, that's another bad thing can happen if a person gets combo. You get really bad blocks. I don't know what that was. I'm gonna tell myself it was good. Well, this is why we test these things, everybody. What the hell's that? I'm gonna clean the cartridge real quick. I don't know if you heard me. 1 second. Is that even being? Yeah. I'm gonna clean the cartridge real quick. I'll be right back. Probably do that for DK64 as well. Gotta make sure the cables are all good. Alright. No, I didn't pull in the card. I used the alcohol and some swabs. That happens again. Because I do have... I mean, I have the analog 3D, which we can always pivot to. Try this again. At some point, we are going to run and Donkey Kong. Not play, just make sure it works. Oh, great. Still can't believe you can't save a piece in this game. I like the outfits though. I like how you can see them turning the pieces. Come on, stop it with those. Alright, I got a Tetris. I think I'm winning. Why are those question marks above me? Oh boy. Oh, this must be like, whoa. What's a Pentris? What's a Pentris? I thought it said penis. What are all these things up there? What's happening? What is that? What did he do? What was that? What is Goofy doing over there? I can't see what he's doing. I don't know how. He's got like nothing on his board. What was that? Why did that happen? Why did that happen? Why did that happen? Does anyone know why that happened? There are a lot about these mechanics I don't quite understand. What the hell is a Pentris? Here comes this again, where I just get a million of these for some reason. It's going really fast. God damn it. Why is this so hard? He's about to lose. He's gonna lose first, right? Lose! Jeez. What? That was so hard! A Pentris is one of the obstacle blocks dropped by a magical Tetris. Okay. Oh, I love Pokemon Puzzle League. Pokemon Puzzle League is like one of my favorite N64 games. This is just, there's more going on here. What the hell's happening? What did you want to ask me? Look at this. I caught this weird snow while I was fishing. Do you know what it is? Gosh, I've never seen anything like it. Hey, Donald. Mikey might know what it is. He's over at Minnie's house right now. Why don't you go over and visit? Go interrupt them. Yeah, paneled upon. Thanks, I'll get over there. Hey, Goofy, here's a chip from this stone. I think you might like it because it's so beautiful. It's yours to keep. Gosh, really? Thank you. Masterful storytelling here. Why did we think Goofy? Oh, hey, Minnie. Is Mickey here? Hello, Donald. Mickey just went back to his factory. What factory? By the way, you've come just in time. Mickey's making Tetraminos, isn't he? I'm making some cookies now. Can you help me? Here we go. Oh, we got Chef Donald now. I swear I'm getting so many, like, pieces in a row. What the hell? Jesus. Oh my god. These are like rules, by the way, though. Good vibes. Combos. Okay, see? Oh, wait, no, she did Tetris. That's bad. Again with... What is that? What are you doing over there, Minnie? Oh, for fuck's sake. She's so clear! How? Ah, boy. Someone tell Bailey to play this. I think she's good at Tetris. Okay, we had something going on there. I don't know why that happens sometimes, by the way. But I'll take it. Game. All right. Let's see here now. Warden Cliff, thank you for the stream streak. Bakumerang, thank you so much for the stream streak. Hit the kill screen array, Pro Gamer. My bad. Flex Retro, thank you for 12 months. Happy mail. Congratulations on your spicy bubble badge. Appreciate it. Chopped Gaming, thank you for following. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate it. I must be getting all these squares because Minnie is doing something. I can't see what Minnie's doing. I'm too busy looking at my own shit. I don't know how Minnie's making this happen. Because it's an N64 game, and they're packaging as cardboard boxes that have all disintegrated, I don't have a manual for this, so I don't know how it works. Blaze and Noah, thank you for subscribing, Prime. Appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hope you had a good weekend. Oh, Jesus Christ. What's shocking to me is that I'm not necessarily, like, totally toast yet. Like, apparently I'm hanging in there. What's this rainbow? Why does the rainbow happen sometimes? I want more rainbows. If you tell me anything about light refraction, you're banned. There we go. Oh my god. I'm gonna look up a manual. It's harder than I was expecting. What's happened? Thank you. Thank you, Firehair. I'm gonna look this up. Controls. Yeah, so not much with the controls. It is weird. This is a D-pad game, so that's exciting. Not too worried about the story. Energy's built up in your magic gauge whenever you clear a line. Oh, so maybe I'm like, wait, where's this magic gauge? Oh, this stuff? When this gauge becomes full, blocks on the same level or higher than the magic gauge will clear. This is the rainbow shit then. Okay. Foxfo. Thank you so much for 16 months. Happy mail. Appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, Terry. Thank you. Okay. Insane. If you clear more than one line where there is an obstacle block in your stock area, the block will be... Okay. If you clear more than one line when there is an obstacle block in your stock area, the block will be sent. Your opponent's play fails a counter block. What's an obstacle? Okay, these. What's my... A question mark? Counter block starts off as 2x2, but will grow up to a 5x5. Once it reaches 5 times 5, the block cannot be countered again. Pentress is when the obstacle blocks drop by a magical attack. Manage to clear 5 lines at once with this. The screen will say Pentress, and a more complicated block will be sent to your opponent. So that's different than a Tetris. I mean, okay, because there's this. So maybe I really am saving for a super Tetris. Okay. I mean, it doesn't seem that crazy, I guess. The counter system I'm not exactly sure of, but we're getting there. I'm starting to make sense of it. Also, can I save? So I have to do this all in one go. Speed probably matters more here since, you know, I'm playing an opponent. Yeah, that's been my issue so far. Combo. Okay. Oh. This one's a B. Jacek, thank you for 26 months. Jacek, appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. Thank you. Hope you had a great weekend. There's this counter one. Okay, so I'm sending a frying pan over to her right now, right? I don't know what that was about, but I did. Seems like a good thing, maybe. Yeah, what? The piece of cake, the bacon pretty cake. Okay, so some things were happening there. Okay, I filled my magic gauge. I don't think it really mattered too much right there, but we'll take it. Now here's, like, oh man, why do I have a zillion of these? Okay, fine. Ugh. Really? What is happening? What happened? I mean, that's good, right? I can just do that. There's so many of them. This is getting wacky bananas, I tell you. Everything but what I need here. If that had to be something good that I just did, right? Oh god, what happened? How is she doing so good? Doesn't she know that this game's hard? Oh shit. Jeez. Arcade Pit was a fun time. Cool if we make that happen again. What was that move? I panicked. Alright, give me a break. There's some pretty big blocks, okay? God, how many levels are there? This is scary. Okay, it feels like you can only do... When you can't store a block, it just feels like my options for strategy become limited. Not to make excuses. Box meals at Arby's? I have not seen that, actually. I don't know. Don't know about those. God. Oh, nice. Oh, great. Whoa. Good. I said that's good. One less thing. Tetris. Bitch. Oh, clear! Oh boy. Yeah, I don't know about these moves. I almost just like want to watch Minnie play for a while and get some freaking tips. I hate when I have one of these. Oh my god, how is she getting all these Pentresses? Look at all these question marks. I think that just means that I got nothing but squares for a while. Which, I mean, shouldn't I just be able to turn these into Tetris? The good things? God. What is this? My magic meter's almost filled up, at least. I sent something bad her way somehow. I don't know how, but I like that I did that. But that could have been more exciting, to be honest. Getting fast. She's not looking good. If I can hold out, maybe I'll win. Oh my god, we did it. Jeez, it's kind of just attrition. Look at Donald being a jerk. Hell yeah. Laugh in her face, Donald. Yeah. Thanks, Donald. You were a jackass. You were great help. No problem. I'll head over to the factory now. Thanks, Minnie. Hi, Mickey. I have something to show you. Hi, Donald. What's up?
I got this where I was fishing. Do you know what this is?
Terrible.
What is this? Glowing. Let's study it, Donald. I need your help.
Yeah, more Marge Simpson. Yeah, but maybe no more voices. Whoa, factory workers. Kind of Toad. It's music, jeez. Holy shit. Wait, is this like an all-time banger? Are you hearing this? Oh, I thought I had a really good... Oh, I could have... Next time. Give me another one of those. I could Pentris him. I could Pentrance. Yeah, I guess I can get a Tetris here at least. For now. Okay, here we go. It's finally happening. All my dreams are coming true. For this thing. Great. Here comes the squares. Fine, screw it. Comboing. Oh. How is he doing so good? My magic meter should be getting filled at some point here, shouldn't it? Ugh, what was that? Oh. Guys, I'm concerned. Mickey is too powerful. Although we have a lot of... Oh no. So toast. Jeez. That sounds like a McDonald's, like, cheeseburger character on top there. Get the vibe anyone else gets from that. Come on. And they just get the Tetris for now. Whoa. That's not good. Finally. That just like a mercy roll. Like the thing went up too for some reason. Oh, this is a shitty block. Works out sometimes. Oh boy. I felt like I was making some things happen, then I look over there. Ooh, he's getting some big ones. Oh, he's not just dropping them next to each other like me. He's not a genius. He's in trouble. I mean, if this is anything like a lot of these other arcade modes for these kind of games, it really is just outlast the CPU, and eventually they kind of break. Oh, I see what happened there. Great. Okay. What was that? Okay. God, he is still kind of rocking and rolling over here. I need some big blocks. This is gonna be a decent combo. Okay. Seemed good. What is all of that? Really fast. Whoa, we did it! Jeez. This is some of those intense specials I've ever played. Well, that's the gang. I know there's some bad guys. All I can tell is that it's not from this world. How do you know that? Well, other than that, I can't tell you anything more. It seems harmless, though. Thanks, Mickey. Something so beautiful can't be bad. I know, I'll take it. That's what you Ada Wong apologists say. I know, I'll take it home and make it into an amulet. See you later. The Donald set off for home, content to make the stone into a pretty amulet. Oh crap. It's the big bad wolf and a weasel. Hey, you give me that stone. Hand it over. Who are you? We're working for Sir Pete. He's big bad wolf and I'm weasel. That stone is mine. I just can't imagine what a difficulty spike would even look like in this game. Why did that happen, Mike? Quite B1 because I had that stupid block down there. Okay, that's a combo. What the fudge? Okay. Well, didn't know too bad. Are you about to have a street fight on the stage? Seems like it. Something happened there. Something out of my control happened there. Let's try this again. You know how much I reset Pokemon Puzzle League to beat Mewtwo? This is nothing. That's way too... Do it there for now. Oh boy. What is this ugly ass piece? Oh, it's all bad. Great, he got a rainbow. Good for you. So happy for you. Should have done that. That's something. Okay. That's good. I won? Oh. Didn't even realize it. Again, I'm like just so focused on my own shit. Ventress seemed to help. What did you think of that Mickey Kart Racing in 64? Was it Capcom? I don't know if it was. I didn't play that one. I don't know if I can think. I played the Disney World Racing one instead. Weasel, you lost, but I got the stone anyway. See you later. Oh, what? How'd that happen? You can't do that. Wait, hey, Arbitrary Wars, thanks for the raid, everybody. We're playing what's this game called? Tetris Magical Challenge or Magical Tetris Challenge in the N64. That was rare. That's right, it's rare. That's wild. Yeah, because I think the only Capcom games on N64 are this, Resident Evil 2, and Mega Man 64. Give it back to me. This is Eureka? The Street Fighter EX people? Now I got you, Pete. Give me back my stone. You are such a pest. Alright, if you could defeat Wolf in Tetris, I will return the stone. Yeah, right. I bet we're going to beat Wolf and then Pete. Music, though. Maybe getting a little greedy here. Yeah, it's starting to really not come together. Oh boy. What the fuck is this? Okay, can I have a big piece, please? Oh shit, oh, here we go. I think it's a little late, but there it is. Yeah. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Little. That one just kind of didn't work out. This is the worst. Pick it up again. Just lose. Everybody wants all that happens. Everyone saw the computer in these games will just kind of blow it for no reason. What the hell? Okay, Tetris. Their Rumble Pack went crazy there. That's a Tetris. That's nice. I hate this piece so much. Oh my god, I got some ugly ass pieces right now. I had that just one more turn. Oh, I won! What the hell? Okay. We're doing alright. No, how could I lose? Well, very impressive. Now it's my turn. Game hasn't crashed again, by the way. That's nice. Oh, look at this. I love the sprite work, man. Scary final boss music. Hope everyone's okay. It's pretty spooky. Get the combo while I can there. Now what the hell's this? Hate this. I don't know. Shit. Why is he? He's just kind of biding his time over there. Getting way too many of those things. Oh boy. This might not be the run right here. Oh, look at that. Oh, wow, okay. That's a surprise. Brother Christian, thank you so much for 11 months. Appreciate that. I hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good weekend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Alright, maybe we're not toast quite yet. This isn't going to be quite Pentatris or whatever, but I'll take it. Oh, that's no good. Oh, that's no good. Ugh. If I could have thought about that a bit better, maybe I could have cleared these blocks, but I sort of freaked out. Okay, he got me that time. Like, sometimes you can use those to your advantage, but not that time. Yeah, I don't really understand why he send so many of those to me, but it happens. I've got a lot of orange blocks. Let's start here. Something almost Metroid Prime-y about this music, man. What the hell is this? Oh, never mind, right there. Ugh, this sucks. Ugh. Why'd I do that? Panicked. Look at that. Like a glove. Oh boy. Look at this piece. Maybe still in this. Yeah, but here we go. Ugh. think I played that right. Yeah. I gotta like count how many of those are better. Backpack only watched a little bit of. It wasn't quite, I don't know, wasn't super into it. There was no DuckTales. I don't know. Great. Here they come. Oh boy. I almost have that thing filled up. That gives us some magic. There it goes. A reprieve. Tetris. Jesus. R. Ah, shit, every time I do that, I gotta remember. Oh boy, you're going here, I guess. Probably in toast now. This has gotta do that. This has gotta do that. Jesus. What's that doing? Okay. Oof. Eventually you'll slip up, don't worry. Tetris now. Whoa. That's a new one. I think that's a counter. If I didn't know anything about counters, and I don't. Really? hell? What the? Oh no. Oh. Thank you for the stream streak to cost. What the hell was that? I'm cheating. I mean, if I had a clear board, you could turn those into just blue lines. Maybe that's the final sequence. I don't know, man. That was crazy. Bust my balls so much. I hate this piece right here. No good. Like a pretty good combo, at least. How many of these are you giving me, game? That was pretty decent, I think. Tris. I'm getting way too greedy here. This shit again. What's that? Getting better, but geez. Oof. Bet you sounds something you say at the end of a super chat. It sure does. At least the game hasn't crashed in a while, knock on wood. I've got another place for Pentress. Anywhere for this to go. We're gonna get that first magic clear at some point, hopefully soon. And then all of this will just go away. He's got his. Yeah, there it is. Oh, look at that. Breadfish 00, thank you for following. Appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Give him a Tetris. Fuck him. Here they come. Killing me. Oh my god, I'm panicking. Just could not find a place for that one. Oh, great. Oh, nice. That was kind of an accident. I'll take it. Oh, he got another fucking thing. I don't know if I'm close to mine. My gut is that I'm not. Oh, right. So if I see those, you gotta kind of have to do left and right. All left, all right. You gotta kind of learn, get ready for that. That's that couple Guitar Bugs mean Beam Machine. It's both. They're both kind of similar. It's that they're like the 1v1 style. That one, but now we do this. I've got to get like ready for these better somehow, man. They are. Oh, that was so close to fitting there. I don't like this start whatsoever. Really? Sighing. We're YOLOing it for a little bit here. Actually. Wow. Okay, we're somehow fine. That seems good. Oh, nice. Nice. Ghost, Verona, thank you for following. Appreciate it. I hope you're doing well. Thank you. Yeah, do it for my son. How was that? Oh, he's got some big blocks coming his way. I did something good to him. I don't know if it's going to mess him up enough, but... Ugh, I wish I had somewhere better for this. Lemonade situation there. Oh, great. Yes. God help me. No. How has he got, like, nothing on his board right now, man? Man, I mean, I thought I was doing all right there, and then he was just not phased. Holy crap. Supposed to be a leisurely little playthrough, by the way. Where did Tetris learn to get so... Or where did Pete learn to get so good at Tetris? I thought he had a job. Okay, here's Penta. I hate these. Doing it like this, screw it. Gonna work this time. Love that, but I know what to do. Okay. May have made some mistakes. Oh boy. I don't know. There. Oh boy. Fuck. This is gonna fuck me. Yep, Phoenix. Okay. Jesus. Hey, babe, how's it going? I'm Tetrising my little heart out. Ah, shit. Let me do that. That was a Tetris, though? Take it. Please stop with these. Yeah, but, oh my god. That's not good. They did not handle that well. Oh god, I have nowhere for this. Yes, I do. It is so Jover. It's messed up in the beginning. They never got back to that. Maybe this time. There's a Metroid quality to the music. How do you already have so many of these pieces to give me? So many holes. So with Tetris, apparently. That. So we both hit at the same time, huh? Tetris, and he's probably gonna Tetris as well. Yep, there it comes. Maybe I should have waited for him to hit his first. I don't know. That actually wasn't a terrible time to get all of those. This though. I'm gonna do this. Anyway. Damn it, he did the thing. Ah, shit. Actually, they're okay with those. Pinterest, don't do that. About the silver bar. Yeah. Oh, what happened there? I did not do that. That's bullshit. Did not. That's starting to go fast. Hit that point. Oh boy. I didn't even notice I was close. I did not notice I was close. I was just worrying about my shit. Oh my god. Holy crap. Now give the stone back! Oh, I can put my name in. I beat the game, everybody. There's your stone. That's what you wanted. Right? Pete gave the stone back to Donald, but not before stealing its mysterious glow. What? Donald happy to get his stone back. Heads for home. We rolled credits. There's 3 different campaigns too. Jeez. That was not messing around. It's a bad ending. I bet we have to beat with everybody to unlock the 5th campaign. Man. Pleasant game though. The music slapped. Yeah, we're gonna check Donkey Kong. I'm gonna kind of work on the overlay, the tracker and stuff too. I'm gonna go to the bathroom and get a drink real quick before we do that after the credits here. Sure, I'll check the options. Grief Train, thank you for following. Appreciate that. I hope you're doing well. Thank you. You guys are going to see something this overlay, like trackers, like donate here. Don't do any of that yet. I'm just working on it. I'm just testing. The costume, I mean, the costume's going to fit or it doesn't fit. I'm not going to test that yet. Gotta say some surprises. Watch it be like a 1 out of 10 difficulty. Zanuchin. GFAD. Ori. Well, yeah, I guess I didn't know if like all the current renewals or stuff were counting towards the goal. That was fun. I don't know if Anarcha is going to be involved this time. Yeah, it took some testing too. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you want to wait to re-up tomorrow. I'm not sure exactly how it works. I'm playing the game. I'm not on the tech side. Jeff. This is a wild time where you could have Capcom make a Disney Tetris game. It is wild how, like, much the dynamic of Tetris changes when you cannot hold a piece. Thank you, brother Christian, for the 1,000 bits. Appreciate it. Ever gone on Barnstormer? No. Because when I was little and could ride it, I was too much of a coward. And then when I was not, I would have been able to ride it. I was kind of big for it. I could. I've done the Gadget Go Coaster in Disneyland, which I think is basically the same thing. Could be so. It's people are going to be joining me in Discord. I don't know about all the time, just because I'm going to be going for so long. Okay. There. Yeah, AOC has to join. All right. Load some things. Oh, options. Okay, one second. Forgot. Immediately forgot. Normal. There isn't easy. There's a very easy. There's a very hard. Fuck that. You have to beat the game on very hard to get the best ending. That seemed pretty hard. To be clear. That was already pretty hard. Mickey Tetris? You're Mickey Tetris. Alright, I'll be right back, everybody. I should give that a 10. Game Boy Color. I mean, it's a pretty good version of Tetris, I guess. It's fun. It is fun. My alerts are going to be off when I switch to this scene in a moment here, but and we are in testing territory. See me set this up in a second here. It's going to start like an hour or so after Game Miss Mornings tomorrow. We have a meeting after Game Miss Mornings on Monday, so we'll do that. Get the meeting, then I'll jump in here. It'll be a good time. Maybe. Maybe it'll be terrible. Maybe you all hate it. I don't know. I shouldn't promise anything. Okay. Donkey Kong. Alright. Who's gonna watch me do this in real time here? Makes it Jerem for their nice overlay. Come on. OBS is so awkward of like trying to grab things sometimes, I swear. Like that works like that, I think that's good enough. These are kind of like, you can see. Okay. Then I learned how to get that tracker thing. What was it called? It has a funky name. Something tracker. Look at my downloads. Email tracker. Yeah, why is it called email tracker? Nobody knows. I had to learn how to add like fancy sources to this thing to make this work. I don't know. Anyways, let's get my camera. How's this gonna look here for this? Probably good enough. What's the banana to dollar ratio? That's a fantastic question. So with this thing, I can do like this. Let's see. Aha, see? Keep track of the stuff I get, because we're doing, it might be doing 100%. Yeah, I just like that guy. Some of the stuff. What is this? What is this I'm clicking on? I don't even know what some of these collectibles are. It's like each level has these. Oh, so these are like DK bananas, Diddy bananas. I see. Because each have different. But like, what the hell is? What are these two things? Fairies. All right, you guys might have to help me. Bananas, blueprints, fairies. This is a fairy. Medals. Can't see it. I know they're kind of tiny. Well, there's fairies over here. Fairies, crowns, giant Donkey Kong things, and then the Nintendo coin and a rare coin, whatever that is. So each character has 5 bananas to golden bananas to get at each level, along with one of these blueprints and one of these medals or something. And there's like more down here for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why there's extra ones down here. Figure that out later. I'm sure chat will help me with that. So people will know something about how this all works. Okay, what else do I need to get up on the scene? All right. And this is the tracker with donations and how that works. That's center-ish. Let's have the game, see how that looks. Here, 1 second. Good for what? Looks good. Pine nuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. I think we're looking okay. Desktop audio. I think it's getting cut off. Is there any weird options in this game or something? I assume we don't want widescreen for this game. This isn't a memory card game, is it? Like, it saves to the cartridge, right? I played a bit of this game when it came out, not a ton. All cart, good. And so far, this seems to look very good to me. I've got my RAM card pack thing in there. This I can just put over here while I'm playing. Click things. Seem to be pretty good. Oh, I need to add a starting, just one of the just starting things. Let's see. Dum, dum. Yeah, Jerem did a great job with the overlay. Boop, 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 ba-doop, ba-doop. Oh, sorry, I'm making a new scene right now. I didn't realize I was gonna move. I'm right here. I'm right here. See? Oh, this is kind of low. This is behind the scenes, everybody. That's all. Okay. Oh, look at all the beavers. Alright. I think that's looking pretty good. Not bad. If there's any notes, I think we're fine. I'm gonna send that picture I took of it to the co-owners and Chuck and everybody. Make sure we're cool. I'm very excited. Why don't we at least give a rating to Disney Magical Challenge, Tetris Magical Challenge. The word Disney's not in the title. The weird thing is the title of the game is Tetris Magical Challenge or Magical Tetris Challenge. The words Disney or Mickey are not in the title. You would not know. Say that 5 times fast. No. Wait, are you leaving Firehair? Yeah, we're gonna let's add that to my list at least real quick. How do you call it? Magical Tetris? Magical. I'm not writing a full review or anything. It's Magical Tetris Challenge. There is a PS1 version. I said it was a rating. No, rating. Easy. Oh God, you all misheard me. This is a good game. I'll give it a 7. How many N64 games have I actually beaten? Like it's not many. 26. Here it is. Soon to be 27. And then, where's my list of my top 20 N64 games? There it is. This looks about right to me. Looks about right to me. Yeah, Pokemon Puzzle League still the GOAT puzzle game on Nintendo 64. All right. Now we can rate somebody. All right. Yeah, Mischief Makers rules. Tiffany Lockhart is helping Sprouts in rating in Final Fantasy 14. Been catching up Final Fantasy 14. I had to take a break. Man, I have so many games I want to play this weekend. So many like exciting games I got like codes for and everything. I haven't touched anything. Kind of running around this weekend, getting stuff ready. But that's it. Not gonna have much time this week to play anything but Donkey Kong, but that's okay. And SGF soon. Don't say that. Don't even say SGF soon. How dare you? How dare you? All right, say hi to Tiffany, everybody. Thank you for hanging out. I'll see you tomorrow for the DK stream. Popping off soon. Thank you, JSMR, for following, by the way. Appreciate that. All right, everyone. You all have a good night. Talk to you later. Gotta do a few more things, actually, for work for tomorrow. But see you later. Bye-bye. Woo.